Hello, my Teaserking fan. Good morning to you. I hope everybody's well. Computer's a little slow today. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Have a good day. One second. All right. So gold, of course, doesn't play on the weekends. It only plays Friday till like 6 o'clock and then starts Sunday night about 7 o'clock. So we're taking a nice break, 2508. Happy times. We got into the 25 and it stayed there, which is extremely important. Now we've created a new base, and now we go to 2600. And that's what we've been waiting for. And as I said, the market prices of things are free market. It's all an auction. They put steak out there for $20 and you say no, or you say yes, and you either buy it or you don't. Or tuna fish or ribs at the barbecue place. They put the price out and you bid on it. You say, nah, it's too expensive. I'm not willing to trade my dollars for the ribs if they're $40, but I will trade my money for ribs for $28. So everything's a trade. But when you price fix, you don't. When you price fix, you don't. When you price fix, you don't allow the market to get you a normal price, and that's our whole analysis on gold and silver. It's not at its free market price. It's at a bank price where they're trying to keep the prices down, which is totally illegal. But it's really stupid because the market, half these idiots out here on YouTube, these gold experts, are clueless to the fact that it's price fixed and it's not the real price. So we know the real price is much higher because supply is limited, demand's huge, getting stronger, and we get that. So that's why we keep going and buying and buying. We're not looking to profit take because we haven't even hit where we should be taking profit. And that's really the argument is you know the Rolex for 60,000 is the market price of it. So if it went to 70, you might go, yeah, I'll profit take that. I bought it at 40. It's up to 60. Now it's up to 70. Okay, I don't think it'll go anymore. The only reason you profit take is if you don't think it'll go anymore. That's why I tell you to get out of Bitcoin. It's not going to go anywhere. However, gold is just beginning. We know it's going to go much higher because of what's happening to all the dollars going to zero, and all the people holding these dollars will need real money. And there's only one choice, gold and silver. There's only one lifeboat. It's not like I can go into the yen or the yuan or the ruble or British pound or the euro. I can't go into those. They're all zero because the methodology is if you keep printing, you'll make it worthless, which is exactly what's happening. So we know it's not really that high. So therefore, there's no reason to profit take yet because it's still going to go much, much higher just based on demand. And as I said yesterday, these guys that say it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down are just morons. They're just don't understand the concept of a free market. And that's all I can say. I mean, they don't get it. Um, they take my example and twist it, but they're not correct by it. So my example is gold was $32 an ounce in 71. It's now $2,500 an ounce. It's still an ounce of gold. It just takes more to buy it. That's true because you've inflated the money. But the gold has gone up in value. What I'm saying is it's an ounce of gold, still an ounce of gold, not that it doesn't go up in value. It goes up in value like every other asset. Why is the Montana card 125,000 for his rookie? Because it went up in value. Assets go up in value. The Rolex, why are they $100,000? They go up in value. Now you can still get 20, 30,000 Rolexes all the way up to 100. I think we saw one at 800,000. So demand does affect the price. Don't think it's just the dollar going down, because did the dollar go down for gold to go from 2,400 to 2,500? You think the dollar went down? No, it's catching up for the dollar going down since 1971, 99%. And in my view, 100%. So it's still getting to the point where it should be at if you didn't price fix it. So if JP Morgan wasn't sitting there hammering these put options to keep the price down, manipulating it, then gold would be much higher based on the dollar going down. So theoretically, they're right in a market economy with the Rolex and the baseball cards. Then they're well, it's still demand, but gold going up is not it's the dollar going down since 1971 to make them a little happier that they almost understand what's going on. So in this case, the dollars went down and now gold's catching up to where it should be with the dollar going down. 2,500 is not where the dollar should be with Rolexes at 60 and mammal cards at 70. There's no way gold should be 2,500. But you still have the second part of the equation, demand. You still have demand. You can't ignore it. Everybody's buying gold. Is a demand thing, would push the price up. Now it's more the central banks. They don't have a free market. So when me and you buy, but that's what they're missing is the dollar's already gone down. So therefore, when gold goes up now, it's from the dollar going down for 50 years. It's not, if the dollar's lost 99% of its value since 1971, then gold should be up a lot more than 2,500. That's my point. So they're saying that. So they're missing the point that it's playing catch up from the dollar losing its value. But gold can certainly go up as an asset based on demand. Demand raises the price. So don't think gold would not go up because of demand. It only goes up because of the dollar. That's just wrong. That's not correct. That's not even close to being correct. I mean, so what are you saying? In a market economy, if there's low supply and huge demand, the price wouldn't go up? It only goes up if you screw the currency? That's ridiculous. So they're just wrong. It's not the dollar going down. The dollar's gone down. So when I get excited at 2,500, it's because the dollar's gone down 99%. Gold has not gone up 99%. Therefore, gold should be much higher, especially in these inflated dollars that are worthless. All right. So I wanted to clear that up. They get it wrong every time. And the other thing is debasement is not inflation. Debasement is debasing coins. That's it. You can only take gold out of the gold coin and silver out of the silver coin is debasement, not paper. You can't take the gold out of the paper because there's no gold in it. The paper's toilet paper and it's only inflated. You're inflating the supply. You're increasing the money supply. You are not debasing the dollar. You are inflating it. So all of a sudden it's new economics. It's called debasement. It's only coins. It's only gold and silver coins. Or here it's the 1964 when they took the silver out of the coins. That's debasement. But what they're doing to the dollar is not debasing it. So all these guys keep being wrong, and they keep thinking they're right. It's the basement, and it's like, no, you're wrong. You're not. You don't see it. It makes you look like idiots because it shows you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what the basement is. You don't know what deflation is. There's no such thing as deflation. Not in an Austrian economic world. There's no deflation. Prices go up and prices go down. What are you deflating? You're not. You're printing the money to zero. So what? All of a sudden, you're not printing the money, or you're burning the money, and it's supposed to be what? Again, the prices don't go up. The prices, the money becomes worthless, and that creates. You need more money to buy, but not everything prices go up because they can't. You can make steaks $30 a pound. Nobody's going to buy them. So you got to keep steaks at 10, 15. I've been noticing at the butcher this week, they were $17. You used to get something for 13. They always have some sale at 10, but mostly now New York strip 17, 18. They're all, but hamburger for some reason stays at $5. There's always something on sale for $5. You got to buy 3 pounds of it. So, but most of tuna went up, Fritos and cereal and everything went up, but now it can't go up anymore. Nobody's buying it, so they got it. They're price sensitive. But I did see tuna go up a little bit, but 20 cents. Okay, so you substitute it for a different brand. You eat salmon, or you buy salmon at the meat counter instead of a can of tuna, which is probably better because you see salmon sometimes $10, $11 a pound at the butcher, and they want like almost $5 for a can of tuna that's like 9 ounces. It's 10 ounces, but with water, so it's 9 ounces of meat. Well, it's 16 to a pound, so it's buy 2 cans is $10. I can buy a fresh salmon for $10. You probably go to the salmon. Anyway, hey Pat. Oh, you're not late. There's no wizards arrive when they want to. So yeah, I was having a hard time getting in. YouTube was very slow tweaking it. But anyway, so little economics, just basically gold is not going up because the dollar's going down. It's going up because the dollar has gone down since 1971 and it's looking for its real price. So gold keeps going up because of the demand. So I wanted to get that in. But anyway, so when you go to the grocery store, there's substitution effect. What's substitution? Well, you don't want New York strip because it's too expensive. You buy Delmonico, or you buy some other, or you buy ribs, or you buy salmon, or you buy chicken. So you substitute what you want for something else. Oh, Pat, you're welcome. This is this is the point of why I do it. I try to educate because let's face it, your economics class was Keynesian. If you took one, and it was just mush. It was, I guarantee you didn't learn Say's law at any Keynesian economics, or 99% of the things I talk about you did not learn in your Keynesian economics class, and you never had a chance to take Austrian economics, and you probably didn't know there was two, because I didn't until I took the class, and then my teacher said, "Oh yeah, this is Austrian economics." Great class. Gold is on a parabolic curve now. I'm self-taught to a most extent. Okay, well, you need a teacher like me who can answer your questions. So you're probably thinking, I know this, or I know that, or maybe I know, or maybe you listen to Mark McGuire, or maybe you listen to Peter Schiff, and if you listen to Peter Schiff or Maloney or Reichert, you're getting bad information. So you need to cross-reference that with me going, well, this is what I heard, or this is what I believe. And that's the point of the class, for me to keep you, so you understand what the reality is, not the bullshit. My master's is in international relations. So did you take finance classes or stock classes? That I had an international economics class in my master's, and it was taught by a guy at the Fed. So he was working at the Fed, and he couldn't explain a lot, and he was off a lot. The dean of the economics was my Austrian economics teacher. I had him for 3 classes, but you had to take international economics. And I didn't like that the teacher missed 5 or 6 classes. It was like, you take 12 classes in the semester. And I complained. I said, he missed 4 or 5 classes. That's 4 or 5 classes I didn't learn. I'm not here to get the masters. I'm here to learn. Like especially once the Austrian economics was going, I wanted to take more classes. I didn't care about yeah, it was nice getting the master's. I wanted to get a PhD in it, but they didn't offer it. The only place was Auburn, Alabama, and me and Alabama don't get along. Yes, you are by far the best. I'm lucky to have found you. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. Yeah, for some reason I get it, and I learn things. I don't memorize things, but I can remember them. So when a lot of stuff I talk about, I know it because that's how I learn. I know it. Like football, I know it. I don't really memorize a lot of stuff. Or I'm good at like seeing Caleb against Notre Dame and UCLA going, he's not good. Because when you played good defenses, he didn't show up. They're all excited when he completed a 2-yard pass to the running back last week and he runs for 40 yards. Well, Caleb threw a 2-yard pass under duress that he looked terrible on. He threw one decent pass, which is not a big deal, hitting the guy on an out. And he ran for 10 yards. So I hardly think he's a superstar, right? Anyway, but that's how I learn things. That's why I'm so good at football. I am part psychic. I'm an INFJ, which we are very psychic. It's just gut feel. Like I know when the game's going to win. Like yesterday, I had a 5 unit on Houston over 7.5, and they won I think it was a 5-4 game. I think they scored 9. And the point was I knew it was going to win because the over-under was so low, and Altuve and Bregman, and the pitcher was Spaghetti. He's not very good. And whoever they were playing, I think the White Sox, they've been hitting a little. Anyway, I knew it was going to win over 7.5, and they scored 9. And that's the psychic feel I get, and I get a lot of it in football. When I look at the games and I know they're going to win, and those are locks. Just like gold, I know it's going to go to 20,000. I know it. It has to. And then the reason is bricks, and the reason is people finding out the dollar's worthless. And with all the corruption in the government, people got to have their eyes open. And when I hear guys, oh, I'm in the market, or I own Amazon, I'm fine, and I just shake my head, going, well, when your stocks go to zero, don't say I didn't warn you, and don't come to me because I'm not going to help you at that point. Yes, gut feeling is a very powerful tool. Yeah, and I have very powerful gut feelings. Well, it's an instinct that you kind of know something's going to happen, and I'm very strong at that. And that's why I'm so good picking football and baseball. Football more than baseball. Baseball, it's so complex, it's very hard to pick. Football, the difference is in football, you got Mahomes the whole game. In baseball, you don't have Verlander the whole game. You got him for 7 innings. You got to hope the bullpen can play. And that's the problem, right? Like I talked about the Seattle manager, he should be fired because he's got a guy pitching a 1-hit shutout through 7, and he pulls them, and he gives up a 2-run homer in the 9th, and he gives up a 2-run homer in the 8th. Why are you pulling the pitcher? You should never pull the pitcher. Don't give me the shit he's tired. He's got a chance to get a complete game shutout. Believe me, he's motivated. And if he's not, then you're a bad manager because you should motivate him. You should say, I want you guys to complete games. And if the owner says, well, we can only pitch him 100, I would quit the job. I'd say, no, I'm here to win. If you're not here to win, then fuck off. And if I'm here to win, the best way we have is when I got a pitcher pitching a 1-hitter, I don't give a shit about pitch count. I want him to finish the game because the goal is to win. And they can't hit him. And if they can't hit him, we're going to win. We got a 2-0 lead. No, we lose because I pull the pitcher, and then their eyes light up going, oh, good, he's out of there. We couldn't hit him. And that's gut feeling. Do you have an estimate time frame for 20K? Well, it's impossible to really time this stuff. Football's different because when they're playing, they're playing tonight, a lot of, exhibition, or the first week is Labor Day week. So Baltimore is playing KC. So I can give you the yes, it'll be Thursday night they'll play, and this is what will happen. I can't give you the 20K. What I can say is we'll look at where gold goes to when BRICS comes out in October, and they go with the gold back currency. Then we'll see. Are they going to make gold 10,000 an ounce? Are they going to keep gold at 3,000 an ounce? Gold's going to 3. So what are they going to do? They need a higher gold price. There's too many people. So they'll probably want it to go to at least 5 would be my thing. And that's the thing. And then that's going to force the US to be in trouble because nobody will want it. I mean, put it this way, you're a consumer. Do you want a gold back currency or this piece of bullshit that's worthless toilet paper? Nobody wants it now, but nobody's going to want this. And therefore, you're going to have, let's see, who's this? I can have gold back currency, or I can have the dollar. Why would I want the dollar? That's going to raise the price of gold also, because that'll increase demand. Again, the only central bank not buying it is the U.S. Are we not? Are we just not going to buy gold because we're Keynesian and the MMT people say just keep printing the money? We're okay. We're just going to cover our eyes and say no, it's fine. It's never worked before, and the whole world's using it and going bankrupt. But we'll just keep printing money and we won't buy gold. I mean, because once you guys start buying, I want to buy more. But once the public starts buying gold, which they're doing at Costco, they're buying these 1 ounce, but they're limited to 1. Well, that's bullshit. And, go to my coin store. You can buy 5, 10 ounces. You'll have it. See, that's the difference. When I go buy 2 ounces at my store, 10 ounces of silver, it doesn't get posted anywhere. Nobody knows I bought it. It doesn't affect the price. But I think once the dollar starts going out because of the gold back currency, the dollars, then people will buy more gold. And then they're going to run out. And that's when it really goes. So let's see what BRICS does if they change the price to $5,000 or $10,000. And then we'll talk when 20. But I think it's going to be just like the Titanic when the people start panicking that they finally realize the boat's going to sink as the boat's 9/10 of the way underwater. Oh shit, the boat's going to sink. I better get on the lifeboat. And the panic comes. That's what's going to make it go 20. So I think conservatively, BRICS will make it 5,000. Maybe they make it 10. I don't know, but I don't think they'll leave it at 3. It's going to 3 now because the U.S. owes 12 tons of gold and they don't have it. How they're still allowed to do it, I don't know. And hopefully they get out of it. But once they get out of it, then it's just all the buying and the price just goes. So the U.S. has to buy the gold from the Bank of International Settlements at market. They can't use derivatives. And that's why you don't see it fighting. That's why it's 25 and it'll be 26 next week and boom, boom, boom to 3,000. And once that happens, I think more people will get the panic mode and go, oh, fuck, we need to buy gold. My girlfriend, Jenna, I told her gold hit 25.08. She says, we need to buy more of it. And she didn't want gold before. She didn't understand it. I was giving her an ounce here and a quarter ounce there and some silver when I would meet her. She lives in Ukraine. We meet in Europe. And she never was a big gold person, right? Oh, gold won't go up. We've got dollars. All of a sudden, gold hits 2,400. Now gold hits 2,500. Now she's like, oh, we need to buy more gold. So my point is people like that who don't really get it. She's not educated. She knows gold's good, but she doesn't think gold's going to go up in value because it never had. And now people are starting to open their eyes at 2,500. More people will start buying it. They're going to realize something's going on. Why is it so high? Which is going to zoom the price. And the key is it's limited. I mean, there's not a lot of gold. You got to dig it out of a mine, which has already been dug out. These central banks have been buying it, so it's already bought. The only thing I get at my store, you get at SD Bullion, is if people sell their gold because they're ignorant in that it's going up to 20,000. If you know it's going up to 20,000, why would you sell it at 2,400? Look at me. I don't sell an ounce because I know it's going to go up. I told her today, well, maybe when it hits 10 grand, we might sell an ounce or two. And then when it hits 20 grand, I'll think about selling an ounce or two, only if I need the money. So right now, this is my job. My job is just sitting on my gold and watching it go up. Every $100, if you have 100 ounces, you make $10,000. Find a better job than that, right? I don't have 100 ounces, but I'm close. So I do good when it goes up 100. But if it's going to go up 500, so it's going to go up from 2,500 to 3,000, that's 500. You have 100 ounces is $50,000. Do that in Bitcoin. And you actually have the gold, not like Bitcoin where you try to get it. Okay, Pat, let's go back to you. My gut is telling me it's coming fast than anyone expects. Well, I don't know what the expectation is, but I believe BRICS will definitely knock it up. And then I think the panic mode comes in and then it becomes emotional. The key will be when people realize the dollar and the yen and the yuan and the Swiss and the BRICS and the what is this? And the euro and the British pound and the Canadian, once they realize their dollars are worthless, the rich people will get out of their stocks and out of their houses and buy gold. And that's when you see the stock market and the house market collapse. The only way it can collapse is people sell, right? Stocks are an auction. Oh, let's take the Montana rookie card, 100 and a quarter. The only way it goes down is if everybody sells it and there's no buyers. I need to sell it. I need money. I'll take 100 for it. That's how the Montana would go down, or the Mantle is I need money. I'm going to sell it and take whatever. Well, nobody in their right mind selling Montana or Rolex or any of those. So what they're doing is selling their house or their stocks. So it's going to start with their stocks. They're going to realize I need money, and the easiest liquid thing is to sell the stocks. The trap's going to be, are they going to be able to sell it? Because if you're with JP Morgan or E-Trade or any of these, they're not going to let you because they're going to be in trouble. So they're not going to let you pull, because theoretically, they own your stock, even though it's in your name and you think you own it. I got 1,000 shares of Amazon. I'm okay. Try to get it. Oh, sorry, Mr. Jones, you can't get your money out. What do you mean I can't get? It's mine. It's in my name. It's not in your name. You've signed an agreement that it's their stock, but it's in your name. They owe it to you. They don't have to pay you. It's like the U.S. They're broke, 36 trillion in debt. Somebody, hey, U.S., I need my money. Sorry, we're broke. We don't have any money. We owe 36 trillion to all these countries and people, and we can't pay it. Or we'll pay you with inflated dollars that are worthless. This is where people are blindsided. You think you have money in the bank? Try to get it out. Sorry, we're limiting your deposit, your withdrawals to $1,000. Well, I got 100,000 in the bank. You can't get it. That's why I long ago got out of the banks, got out of the stocks, and I'm in the gold, because you can't fuck with me. It's my gold. You don't even know I have it. And you can't control it since it's physical and I have it. That's why I yell at you to stay out of stocks, stay out of gold stocks, stay out of the gold IRA, stay out of the ETFs, because they're not physical. And when you try to get the physical, I know Sprout won't give it to you. He doesn't have it. I know the IRAs don't have it. And, gold stocks doesn't really help you. Yeah, they should go up, but try to get your money out of the stock market. So there's a lot of people gonna get fucked, but they don't know it. That's why you buy the physical, and then we just wait. And then as this ship sinks, we're on the lifeboat and we're protected because we have the physical. But if you don't have the physical, you're gonna get fucked. You can't trust these people. Are you kidding? Anyway, could it be possible that there is an overnight revaluation? Well, it happens all the time, right? You wake up on a Monday or after a holiday, and all of a sudden. So when Bricks announces you could get to the overnight, that's the end of October. That Monday, you could all of a sudden see it at 5,000. Uh, of course, it's possible and probable. Nobody gets it, and I mean nobody. Well, except for us. You would only sell gold for a baseball card. Last chance to get out. I wouldn't sell gold for a baseball card. I have gold. Why would I get rid of it? Um, so I don't say I wouldn't sell gold for the mantle unless I wanted the mantle and it was cheap and I got a lot of gold. But the gold is your like I keep telling Luke, you're gonna buy a house with your gold, right? On a Rolex with your gold. Well, no, I mean the gold's worth, that's just a trade. I don't because gold is money and the baseball card isn't. Baseball card's an asset and it's worth so much, but you need to sell the card to eat or whatever you want to do with it, or just collect it. I have a lot of cards, and I'm not gonna, so I don't really have to do much selling gold for the cards. I have a Mantle and a Montana rookie and a Rice rookie, so I'm not looking to buy anymore because I already have bought. So I'm way ahead of the game, right? I knew from my master's, I graduated in '95, and I knew right away from my teacher was you want to buy real assets during inflation, which means they're ruining the money. The only thing that keeps value are real assets. That's why I tell you Rolex, Mantle cards, Montana cards, Tom Brady cards, gold and silver. They're real assets. That's what you want to hold because they will keep their value. The house will keep its value, but it won't be valued in dollars because they're ruining the dollar. So you have to at least understand that concept. They're ruining the dollar. It's worthless. But it's not just the U.S. So when Biden took over and he started printing trillions and trillions of dollars, I said, okay, we're done. Here comes the heavy inflation. And I said, what do I do? And I'm thinking, well, I'll just buy euros or I'll buy Swiss francs and I'll get out of the dollar and I'll have 100,000 of euro. Then I realized, well, but those are all going out also because all the paper's going out. And therefore, I don't want to be in any of the dollars because they're all worthless, which left me to the only thing I could get into is gold and silver. I already have the baseball cards. I'm not going to buy more of those. I don't really want to have a Rolex as the investment. I'd rather have gold and silver because at the time, gold's 1,500 an ounce. It hasn't moved yet. Rolexes are already, you're paying 60, 80, 100,000 for a Rolex. Or you can buy a 20, 30,000 one. But and Rolexes are very limited and high demand. So their prices are good, but how many Rolex do I want to buy? One Rolex for 100 grand? What am I going to do with it? But I could buy all kinds of gold at $1,500, $1,600. And I bought some at 250. This was bought when gold was $250 an ounce, 1995. This is my master's present. I wanted to buy the school ring, but it was like $800 and it wasn't gold. And this was 550 at a nice jewelry store. And I said, oh, fuck, I'll buy the gold. It's a perfect gift for an economist. And so I bought this for 550. Gold was 250 an ounce. I bought a half ounce and two quarter ounces at the time. And then my ex gets us into sports cards. And I'm thinking I want to buy more gold. So I buy a little, but we're spending our money on sports cards. And the ironic thing is I go and I buy a Mantle card and I buy a Montana rookie. And I end up where these cards are going to be worth more than the gold I would have bought, which is ridiculous. And to talk to the Bitcoin people, every Bitcoiner goes, oh, I bought it at $5, $10. And that it's up to 60,000. Nobody bought it 40,000, and nobody bought it 60 or 70,000. Everybody bought it $10. I love it. Well, that's my mantle. All my cards I didn't spend more than $100 on because I was thinking, oh, they'll never go up in value. So I get the Montana rookie because I want to get the Montana rookie. I think I paid $100 for it. After trying to find one that was mint condition, and it took a while, and they're still not really that perfectly centered, but it's probably a 60-40 or 58-42 or something like that. But I didn't pay nothing for my Montana card. So I don't know. Yeah, you can do it in Bitcoin, but I'd much rather do it in Montana cards and mantle cards because they're assets that I can hold. See, I don't like Bitcoin. I can't hold it. I don't trust it. I don't trust if the internet goes down, what am I going to do? If the internet goes down, I got my gold in my hand. I don't need it. So I would much rather have things in my hand, and nobody can say, oh, it's worthless. Like Attack on Wall Street. I love the movie, and the guy's got a real estate trust for 60 grand. All of a sudden he gets a letter. It's worthless because the Home Alone dad sits there and fucks over everybody and says, oh, we'll just dump them. And they made them worthless, and everybody holding them got fucked. He says, but the company survived. Yeah, okay, so we're going to trust you. So the guy opens the letter. It's now worthless. So your 60 grand's worthless. Well, if you had, and that's my favorite line is if you had gold, he'd be worth 110,000. He'd have made 50 grand, and nobody could say it's worthless. And that's the best example I can give you. So no, I wouldn't sell. I don't want to sell my gold at all. Only if something happened and I needed whatever form of currency would pay for food or rent or whatever, then I would do it. Great explanation. Thank you. I'm good at that. Come every day for class. Well, thank you, Pat. Yeah, I like doing it every day. On the weekends, it's 11 o'clock because of football. Actually, it'll be Saturdays, it'll be 10 o'clock. Although that'll be the class. So the class will be at 10 o'clock in the morning, the $25 college football one. And at 11 o'clock Sunday morning for the pro. Also, it'll be once during the week to give you the picks. So college will be Friday, here's the picks. And then Saturday, we review the line. That'll be the class. I might talk about the lines here, but I won't give any picks in free. But that's for sure. The early classes are for football, and then everything else usually is about 2:33. I go to the pool, and then it's relaxing. But yeah, economics. If you want to learn specifics, then $25 for that class, and we can talk specifically about things. This is a little bit more general, but I try to give you enough information. All right, so we can get back to economics in a bit. Let's look at baseball. Yesterday, Yankees played a low-scoring game with the Tigers. That's a winner. KC under 9's a winner. Philly over 9. They forgot to hit. Pittsburgh for Luke. Scanes on the mound. That's a winner. Arizona over 8's a winner. Baltimore under 8.5. So loser. They played a big game with Boston. That was a 20-run game. Texas over 8.5. They're not scoring. Cleveland over 8 wins. Houston, that was the lock yesterday, over 7.5. Like I said, with Altuve and Bregman and these guys, how could they be set? And the pitchers were not good. It wasn't Verlander. It was Spaghetti. And he's got like a 5 ERA, and the other guy was a 5 ERA. And how the hell are they only going to 7? And it was a 5-4 game with the White Sox. So we easily got over 7.5. St. Louis over 9.5 wins, and Colorado over 11.5 only scores 10, which is why you got to be careful with these big spreads. And Colorado home games, it's always at least 10 or 11. So a 7-4 day, and now we come to 8-17. Next Saturday, college football, we got Florida State, Georgia Tech, and SMU and Nevada. And we go to today's well, thank you, Pat. Yeah, and it's a live, but it's also a video. So if you can't catch it, or you got to be away, or you're traveling, it's still going to be on. I mean, it'll still be there, but the point where you can ask questions. That's why it's live, because I want the interaction. I want to know what you don't understand or questions. And it's funny is I get very little where people don't understand. I think I explain it where people go, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. Because I'm trying to tone it down, not talking like Mark McGuire with the ring fence and the casino where nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about. You need to explain it to like a fifth grader. So that's what I try to do here. I get more questions like you're saying, well, when's it going to hit 20,000? And it's very hard to time because it's not a really a timeable thing. It's emotion. And how do you time emotion? I can't time when the Titanic is sinking and everybody's jumping off the boat and correlate that to the dollars going out and everybody's jumping into gold. We know it'll happen, but you don't know when. You don't know the timing of it. And then the news, they'll try to play it down and everything else. So that's why I like the interaction. When I saw I could do a live one, I was excited about it. Before I used to just do videos, but there's no interaction. And this way I can talk about it. All right. 105, that's an hour away. We got Seattle at Pittsburgh. Luke went yesterday. I don't think he's going again today. Luis Castillo for Seattle, 10-11 with the 340, and Bailey Falter, 5-7 with the 407. Yesterday, there was scoring. I was debating about going under or taking Skanes. I ended up taking Skanes. And, it's they scored a lot of runs, which I was surprised. Seattle only has 2 batters on the team. The rest of the guys are like under 200, like the Tigers. So we will see. Bailey Falter, Luis Castillo. Seattle has a good pitching and no hitting, so they're the ultimate under team. Pittsburgh at home. Let's see. So Pittsburgh at home hits 234, and Seattle on the road hits 231. So neither team hits well. I'm going to stay away from this because when you got pitchers with like the 3.4 and the 4.07 ERAs, you don't know what you're going to get. You could get the sound. Look at Derek Cole, like shut out Detroit yesterday, which isn't hard to do. So you're not really sure what to do with it. I still bitch at Detroit for not intentionally walking the best hitter on the team. Like Aaron Judge, I wouldn't even pitch to him. I'd give him 4 intentional walks. You're not beating me, big fella. The guy's got 42 home runs, hitting 340 or something like that. Yeah, you're not seeing any pitches. Look what they did to Barry Bonds. The guy walked 1,000 times that year. Nobody was going to pitch to him. And they shouldn't have. That's smart baseball. Give them the base instead of the home run. All right, so we're going to lay off of that. Yankees at Detroit. Yankees 250-9. Carlos Rodon 13-7 with the 418 against Kender Montero 3-5 with the 576. Well, I got to bet New York here because Montero is 3-5 with a 576. He's not stopping the Yankees. The Yankees, Rodon's not very good. He's 13-7 with the 418. I would normally take this game over, but Detroit's not hitting. They won't score in the game, which leads me towards taking the Yankees. Between Soto and Judge, and they don't intentionally walk Detroit because their manager's got his head up his ass, about the same as the Lions coach has his head up his ass. So you're not going to walk. You're not smart enough to walk Judge, then they're going to be runs, and a lot of runs. So let's go Yankees, probably 5-0. So it's hard to go over, but they'll hit this Montero guy. He stinks. Toronto and the Cubbies. The Cubbies 175-8. Chris Bassett 9-11, 430 for Toronto. Justin Steele 3-5, 316. Cubbies won yesterday like 6-5. So you did get some runs. These pitchers stink. Justin Steele 3-5 with a 316. So let's go Cubbies. We haven't played the Cubbies in a while. So again, if we see an edge with the pitcher, we take the team. If we really don't see the edge with the pitcher, but we know they're a good hitting team or a bad hitting team, I go more towards the over unders. Miami and the Mets. The Mets finally won, as I bitched about the Mets, and then they go to Miami. Miami comes to New York, and they hit. The Mets are 190. Max Meyer 3-2 with a 5.20 against Luis Servino 7-6 with the 4.17. So here I'm going to go Mets over 8.5. See, that's not too high of a number. And I'll go 2 units. So far, all 2 unit plays. Nothing really excites me. But a 5.2 ERA and a 4.17 ERA, there's got to be runs. And Miami's been hitting pretty well, and the Mets finally hit yesterday. So let's see. Arizona, Tampa. Tampa won. See, Tampa's one of these teams like Arizona, like you don't think they're any good, and then they win. Arizona 120-7. Zach Gallen for Arizona 9-5, 3.69. Jeffrey Springs 0-1 with the 4.61. I'll take Arizona. I mean, I don't love them. They're not a 5-star. Washington, Philly. I was shocked this game was under yesterday. I had it over. Philly 225-9. Mackenzie Gore for Washington 7-10 with the 4.50. Christopher Sanchez 8-8 with the 3.63. Again, I want to go over. They should hit Washington, and then Sanchez with the 3.63. What am I going to do? Do I take Philly? Do I take the over? All right, let's go Philly. We're playing teams today. Philly 2 units. Philly has a way of just jumping on you, and then they're up 7-0, and they got so much hitting. You can't really go against Philly, and you can never really play them under unless it's Verlander or somebody. KC, Cincinnati, Cincy 139.5. Michael Waka. Seems like he pitches every day. 9-6 with the 3.50. Nick Lodolo, 9-4 with the 3.99. I'm going to go under here. KC under 9.5. Seems like a big number. I'm going to make this 3 units. Lodolo's pretty good, and then Waka is very inconsistent, but he's been pitching pretty good. So I don't know. I don't think they're high-scoring teams, but we'll see. Boston, Baltimore played at 22 yesterday, 12-10. Baltimore 125.9.5. Brian Bello for Boston, 10-5 with a 5. Cade Povich, 1-5. Okay, now here I'm going to go Baltimore over 9.5, and this is going to be our 5-unit play today. This is our best play so far. You get a 22-run game, 12-10, so both teams are hitting. You got 2 shit pitchers. You got a 4.97 and a 6.27. They should continue to hit these guys, and it's only 9.5. So let's go 5 units. Baltimore over 9.5 with Boston. Mini Texas, we had the game under, and we won. Texas over 8.5. I thought we had it under. Maybe the day before. Yeah, it was the day before. So yesterday was a low-scoring game again. David Festa, 2-2 at the 5.20. Nathan Eovaldi, 8-6 at the 3.75. I'm going to pass. I think it's a Texas game, but I'm going to pass on it. I don't like Texas is not hitting in Minnesota. It's, pretty good team this year. The Bay Area, the 49ers against the Raiders. They never played in the Super Bowl. Wasn't that kind of weird? How as many times as Frisco was in the Super Bowl and as many times as Oakland got in it. I was hoping, unfortunately, in 80, they didn't have Montana yet. In 81, the Niners beat Cincinnati. And then in 82, it's Washington, Miami. In 83, it's Oakland, Washington. So why didn't we should have got Oakland and the Niners because that's when Ronnie Lott terrible pass interference call went against them after Montana brings them back from 21-0. It's 21-21 late in the 4th. So had the Niners won there, it would have been the Niners. That would be a great Super Bowl. That would have been a great Super Bowl. Unfortunately, we had to watch him kill Washington instead. Hayden Birdsong, 3-2, 5.40. Oswald Cobblepot, 3-3 with a 3.92 for Oakland. It's 7.5. Can either team hit? I don't know. They haven't been hitting too well, but I can't go under. It's an overplay. All right, let's go over. Oakland over because it's 7.5. We'll go 3 units, and the pitchers are a 540 and a 4. I mean, it just smells like how can it not be an over? How can I go under with these pitchers? So this is my key here. When I see this shit with the 7.5 ERA and a 540 and a 4 ERAs and a 7.5 over under. I think I've been hitting this 90%. It's just go over because the pitchers are bad and it's only 7.5. They'll find a way to get, 6-3 or something. The White Sox and the Astros. We got a 9 yesterday. Over under now moved up to 8.5. How about that? Chris Flexen 2-11 with the 5.34. Why is he playing? Hunter Brown 10-7 with the 3.96. I'm going to take Houston today. Just love that Altuve fella. Always bet the Stars. The key to life. Cleveland at Milwaukee. We had Cleveland over and it won. Yeah, pretty high scoring. Milwaukee minus 125, 7.5. Tanner Bibby 10-4 with the 3.39. Freddie Peralta 7-7 with the 4.11. I can't bet this game. This should be an over, and I'm not betting over with Cleveland's bullpen. Well, I got away with it yesterday, but I don't think I'm going to get away with it today. Actually, Cleveland is the better team here. Milwaukee's favored. Huh. I think Cleveland's a live dog, everybody. All right. The Dodgers and the Cardinals. Dodgers minus 135.9. Bobby Miller 1-2 with an 8.07. Oh my God. Andre Palante 4-6 with the 4.21. I got to go over here. LA over 9. And we'll go 3 units. What shit pitching. Oh my God. 1-2 and an 8.07. Why is this guy in the major leagues? Oh, because there's not enough good pitchers in the major leagues, so they got to bring up minor leaguers. And you get to go to the games and pay major league $1 for minor league talent. Andre Palantine 4-6 with the 4.2. Another pig who shouldn't be in the league. Let them work in the minors, and then if they have a 2 ERA, you bring them up. They got a 5 ERA. What are you bringing them up for? They'll do better in the majors. No, when you face higher competition, you don't do better than when you're in the minors. Caleb is the example. San Diego, Colorado. San Diego minus 210, 10.5. Not today, boys. Dylan Cease 11-9, 3.41. Kyle Freeland 3-4. Here's my other 5-star. We're going with San Diego. 5-star. I should go under 10.5 because Dylan Cease is going to shut him out. He's a good pitcher. And Freeland 3-4 with the 5. So San Diego should kill him. And the last game, Atlanta and Carolina, we didn't play yesterday. I don't like these. California, I have no idea. Trout doesn't play. I don't know. Half the team hits 100. The Braves have a lot of injuries. Atlanta 225-8. Chris Sale. Wait a minute. Chris Sale 13-3, 261. Okay. Here we got to go Atlanta 5 units. Chris Sale 13-3 with a 261 against 4-10 with a 5.11. It's the perfect bet. 5 units. Go Chris Sale. That's what you're looking for. There's so few Chris Sales in the league. Verlander's out. Scherzer's out. I mean, it's very difficult. You got a bunch of minor leaguers, and that's the problem. And you can't understand is why they're all injured when they only play every, once a week, probably 90 pitches, and they're all getting hurt. Enough with this rotation. You want to kill all the elbows with your stupid spin rate? Is that what you want to do? You're not smart enough. You're like the Federal Reserve. Well, we're going to keep printing money. Well, you're going to ruin the money because you can't keep printing it. Yeah, we're going to do it anyway, though. Well, you're going to keep having these guys spin the ball and watching them hurt their elbows because you can't spin it. It's bad for your elbow. But no, you'll keep doing it, and then there'll be, what are you doing? Bunch of idiots. All right, let's go to preseason football. I know some of you degenerates play it. I do not bet preseason, although I did give you a game Thursday, Philadelphia as the dog. They won. I gave you a game today, which is the Rams. San Diego's 2.5-point favorites over Stenson Benson. I will take Stenson Benson an 8.5. Herbert's out. Harbaugh doesn't know what he's doing. So that's your game today. Take the Rams an 8.5. Could have played it with Philly. And then I'll give you a second game to play with the Rams. Again, I'm not betting it. I don't bet preseason, but in this case, Stenson Benson is worth a look. And let's see. Let's go New Orleans and 7 with that. The Niners are 1 over New Orleans. You're going to get Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler. Not that Spencer Rattler's any good, but Haener's very good. And the Niners, without Purdy, I don't even know who they have. Some nobodies. The Niners aren't going to score. New Orleans should score with Haener, a couple touchdowns, some points. So I think they're a live dog. So New Orleans and the Rams. Let me write this down. New O plus 7, LA plus 8.5. That's your what do we call it? Preseason teaser on the house. Now, I won't be doing this when the regular season hits, as I'm trying to tell you. You join the class, you just buy the picks. Enough people are getting upset who bought and say, well, you're giving the games away. Why should I buy? So that's correct. So now we're not giving them away anymore. You have to purchase my expertise, the gold standard of football picking. All right. Atlanta, Baltimore. Baltimore, 2.5, 34.5. Penix should go. Baltimore, Lamar, yeah, he doesn't need the reps because all he does is run. I don't think you'll see much difference from last week. J.J. McCarthy got hurt. He's injury prone anyway. He hurt his knee in Michigan. That's why McNamara started, right? He hurt his knee. Now he's hurt it again, injury prone. And Minnesota just wasted their first round draft pick on a guy who's shouldn't have been drafted. All right. Atlanta, Baltimore. Over under 34.5. Baltimore, they like to win preseason. Atlanta should give Penix a workover. So look for a good game here. Look for Penix. Cincinnati and the Bears. Oh my God, Caleb will complete a pass and everybody will get a thing. Burrow against the Bears. The Bears are scoring against the 4th and 5th stringers. I don't know if this was regular season, I would have 1,000-star lock on Cincinnati and 12.5. Unfortunately, this is preseason, and I only get Joe Burrow for the first 2 series. So we're going with cheaper. Hey, Real D. What football team, I think you're saying, impressed me? What football team improved the best in the offseason? Well, let's go through that. Let's look at the games. Let me answer that as I go through the game. Right now, I'm just setting it up, and then we'll go through that question. Cincinnati and the Bears. So, again, I like Joe Burrow, but he'll probably only play the first 2 series. Chase is holding out, but he'll be back because Burrow will make sure he's back. If Burrow has to give him some of his money, he will. The Bears, Caleb, not a big deal. And then Padgett or these other guys. So Cincinnati and 12.5 is awful tempting here. The Giants in Houston. The Giants, they don't play Daniel Jones. God knows he needs the work. Houston with Stroud, he needs the work, but they'll go to their thing. This will be a 3-0 game. Detroit KC, I know they won't play golf because they're scared he might get hurt. Like I said, I was watching, who's that idiot? A guy on Fox. Anyway, he was talking. He said, I talked to doctors about these teams not playing in the preseason, about the injuries, and the doctors said just what I said. There's a lot more injuries because they got to get used to the contract. They got to get used to tackling. They got to get used to running at full speed, and that's why all these soft injuries happen. You're throwing the practices are regulated. You can't say, well, we have the practice, we don't need them in the game. Yes, you do. You need them running full speed, playing, and play by play when the lights are on. You need that, and you need these guys tackling and getting hit. They got to learn how to do that. They don't learn it in practice because they don't let them hit. You think Jared Goff's going to face any pressure in practice? Oh my God, no. He might get hurt, but then they won't play him in the game, and then in week 1, he's not ready for 3 weeks. Anyway, that's what I said. A lot of injuries the first 2 weeks because these guys are not in shape. KC 739.5. Mahomes will play probably maybe the first 2 series. I don't know who their backup. I think they got a pretty good backup. Detroit. I don't know if Hooker's playing. If he's not playing and they got to use Nathan Peterman, they're in big trouble. So I don't know who their backup is, but I like Kansas City here because Detroit's backup sucks. Like, this is your backup, and if Goff gets hurt, you're really going to go to this guy? So Hooker, they're lucky they have Hooker. He's much better than Goff. Just give him the chance. Minnesota and Cleveland. Cleveland 3-34. Minnesota doesn't have McCarthy, so they just got Darnold, which they'll probably play a few snaps. Their backups suck. Cleveland, Thompson Robinson played a lot. I like Cleveland here. Seattle, Tennessee. Seattle 1.5, 35.5 at Tennessee. I don't know. Is Geno Smith playing? Is Metcalf playing? Is whatchamacallit? The other guy, the other receiver. I love when these guys love Smith Najima. Like, what has he done? He's done nothing. Oh, he's a great route runner. Yeah, but he can't catch the ball. Can't get open. I don't like that Smith Najima. I didn't like him at Ohio State. He didn't do anything. He had a good Rose Bowl because they were triple teaming Olave. Okay, yeah. Let's see if he catches 10 passes this year. Tennessee, they're terrible. Will Levis, yeah, or the other guy, Malik, whatever Malik's name is. I don't know. Arizona, Indy, their best quarterback is Bean from Kansas. They should start him. Richardson's a mess. He'll always get injured. He's too stupid to slide. Arizona with Murray. Marvin Harrison won't do anything unless he plays Illinois and Purdue. It's one thing on Ohio State when you got all these backs and all these receivers, but you go to Arizona, there's no backs and receivers to help you, and you got Kyler Murray. Good luck on that. He'll get hurt. I'll give him 4 games. Don't like either of these teams. Washington, Miami. Now here you got Daniels and you got Hartman. So Hartman's the key to this. I would take Washington at 10.5. Hartman will have a big game. Miami, what does Tag play? And then he didn't even play. Skylar Thompson played, and he sucks. So I think Daniel play little and Hartman. So I like Washington as the dog. Again, don't bet it. I'm not betting it. You can bet it, but I'm not betting it. Buffalo, Pitt 1.5, 38.5. We know Russell Wilson's not playing. We saw Fields. He can't handle the snap from center. He gets sacked too much. Buffalo, Kelly played a little, and they're back up again to, who knows. The JETS is against Carolina. Carolina, definitely the worst team. And they couldn't win in the SEC, right? If they played in the SEC and they had to play Georgia and Florida and Alabama, they wouldn't even be competitive. Rodgers won't play. Their backup was pretty good. Carolina, why they're not playing Steve Young, I don't know. He's pathetic, and he needs playing time. So, yeah, good luck going 0-17 again this year, Carolina. The Rams and San Diego. We got Stenson Benson, and that's it. Rams look good. Chargers suck. Have no quarterback. Herbert's out. Their backup stick. Harbaugh wants to run. He thinks he's at Michigan. And he'll probably try to cheat. He'll probably try to look for stealing signs. San Diego with no offense, good defense, and they didn't draft Brock Bowers. They're going to have to live with that one for 10 years. Tampa, Jacksonville. Tampa, my man Kyle Trask from Florida looked really good. Jacksonville, they got Zach Wilson from Alabama. Good luck with that one. A little bit of Trevor Lawrence, nothing game. Dallas and Oakland. Brock Bowers played. The quarterback, what's his name? Minshew. Looked okay. He'll be okay. Their defense is great, but they didn't play it against Minnesota. Dallas, big trouble. Prescott sucks. Cooper Rush is their best quarterback. And then what are they doing with watching Trey Lance run around? And, they didn't score any touchdowns last week. Pretty weak team. I doubt Micah Parsons plays or their good defense. This would be a great under in week 1, but here I'm probably an under here. Green Bay, Denver, too. This should be an over team. You got Bo Nix, looked really good. Love, decent. Their backup, I don't remember. We'll start noticing the backups. I'll write them down after today. This is tomorrow's game. And then New Orleans and the 49ers. So I gave you New Orleans and a touchdown. We got Hainer and we got Rattler. And San Francisco, Brock Purdy won't play, has really nobody. So look for this to be pretty low scoring also. And then Thursday, Philly beat New England 14-13. New England's pathetic. I don't know what to do. Zappy should just play the game, right? Brissett was terrible. Drake May, 2-9, and then and the other guy shouldn't even be there. So you're wasting time with 4 quarterbacks that 2 of them suck. Zappy's your best. I don't know what you're dicking around with. Drake May shouldn't have been drafted. And then you got Brissett, who's average. He's not really good. He's average. If your quarterback gets hurt, you go to Brissett because he can at least throw the ball. He's not a starter. So there you go. Now, let's go Real D. So Real D, what team improved the best in the offseason? Okay. So let's look at it. For that, we're gonna go to my sheet. We'll go, let's see. Improve the most. All right. I'm gonna go right down the schedule. Baltimore, did they improve? No, they still got Lamar. Kansas City, they got a few receivers. So they improved. Did they improve the most? No, they didn't, because they kept Spagnuolo, which was a brilliant move. And Mahomes, so they're not improving. Kelsey, Pacheco, so it stayed good. And then their defense is incredible. So there's not much to improve. They win the Super Bowl. We'll see if Cincinnati can beat them this year. Green Bay and Philly. Green Bay, well, they improved a lot last year, the last 7-8 games. As far as did they get better? I don't know. They got some defense in the draft. They didn't really need a lot. So did they improve? Not from the end. They improved last year. So when you look at the playoff game and they killed Dallas and then they gave the Niners all they wanted, there wasn't so they improved at the end. That's what I would take, that they're a much better team, Green Bay. They'll win the division. Philadelphia, I don't know. They improved. They just imploded last year. They didn't replace Hurts, which is a big problem. You got the running. They got Saquon Barkley, so that's definitely an improvement. You've got terrible coaching. Kellen Moore, I liked as a quarterback. I don't know how much I like him as an offensive coordinator. We'll see what he does with this craziness. The head coach is terrible. Defense, I don't like the defensive coordinator they picked up, although he's got to be better than Patricia. They got all these Georgia defensive players, so they should be allowing like 10 points a game if they had the right coach. Maybe you need the Georgia defensive coach. Hire him from Oregon. God knows you can't head coach. And then you've got so Philly could be better because of their talent. I'm not going to say they improved; they imploded. Are we going to get real Philadelphia or the imploded Philadelphia? And that we'll have to see. Pittsburgh, they improved because they got Russell Wilson, not Fields. I think they got a running back. I don't remember all their drafting. I'll have to look at that video. So you kind of caught me off guard not remembering the draft, but Pittsburgh just getting Russell Wilson should improve a lot. Their defense, I know they got some defensive help. So we'll see with Russell Wilson. I think Pittsburgh can contend, but they're in the hardest division: Baltimore, Pitt, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. I mean, that's the best division in football by a mile. They would win in the SEC. Atlanta, they improved a lot with Penix, not with Cousins, but with Penix, they improved. He was the best. And when they got this guy from New England, I'm like, who is he? So you want to say he's good because he played for a shitty New England team that won 2 games, and you think he's good? Oh, okay. Where the Lions should have got him. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would help the Lions. So I think Atlanta improved a lot with Penix. Now they're going to struggle with Cousins if he's even ready to go with the Achilles. He might play the first game and then be out, but that was a move because they didn't think they'd get Penix, and now they get him, and he's, by far, well, him and Bo Nix and Daniels they're NFL caliber. The rest aren't. I think the Bears got the worst getting Caleb. That was terrible. Arizona, did they improve? They got Marvin Harrison. They need defense. Arizona still struggle. They'll be an over team. They'll score more with Harrison, and they'll give up 30 points a game because they don't have a defense or a coach. Buffalo didn't really improve. They got Josh Allen, who's average at best. They lost the receiver. I wouldn't think they're Super Bowl material. Tennessee, they're relying on Will Levis and Malik, whatever his name is. They're in big trouble. They didn't improve. They did get a receiver, but their coach sucks. You can't get rid of Vrabel and improve, right? Chicago, they did not improve. They got Caleb, and wait till they realize what a bust he is. They did get some defense. Getting Keenan Allen helps if you have a quarterback. Maybe. Do you have a line? Can you run? I don't like the running back they got from Philly. He was on the Lions. He sucked. Always hurt. Goes to Philly, had some nice runs because of their offense, but he ain't going to do anything on the Bears. Again, Caleb's not very good, so they don't realize it yet. And so therefore they did not improve at all. They actually traded Fields for Caleb, basically. Same guy. New England's the worst team in the league with Carolina, so they didn't improve. They didn't get a quarterback. Or they got Drake May. Well, so they didn't get a quarterback. He's a bust. And then Brissett. But if they go to Zappy, they'll improve if they go to Zappy. They'll win 3 or 4 games. Their defense sucks. The coach, they lost Belichick. How can they have improved? Cincinnati will improve because they get Burrow back. So now Cincinnati's a Super Bowl team. They'll sign Chase. They let their running back go, but they'll get another, and then they'll get some defensive help. But having Joe Burrow back is a huge improvement. Houston, they're an average team. I don't think they improved. They are stuck with Stroud. No defense. I don't know. I don't see Houston improving. Indy, they got a better quarterback in Bean, but they'll play Richardson until he gets hurt. They did lose Minshew, so that's a loss, and their defense sucks. So we'll see when they go to Bean, but they're probably too stupid to go to him. If you'd watch college football, you'd see Kansas score 40 points a game. You'd realize how good Bean was. So He is playing in the preseason, so that's the best thing about it. But Richardson's terrible. Jacksonville, they still got Trevor Lawrence. They're pathetic. Miami, they still got no defense and tag. They're an offensive team until they play a good game against a good team, and then Buffalo kills them, Baltimore kills them, Kansas City kills them. So as soon as they get in against a good team, they're gone. Tag can throw a nice 5-yard pass, but that's it. Carolina, the worst team in the league by far. Terrible team, terrible quarterback. They didn't do anything. New Orleans, they can go to Hainer. That'll improve if they go to Hainer. They got Olave and Kamara. They'll probably do better this year. They still need a coach, unfortunately. The way these teams pick coaches, they don't know what they're doing. Dennis Allen, who the fuck's that? And getting the Tennessee guy, getting rid of Vrabel. What are you insane? We need more offense. You don't need more offense. You can win with defense. Look at Kansas City. He's winning with defense. I hate to break it to you guys. Same thing with Baltimore. I mean, how can they win with Lamar? New Orleans should be better if they go to Hainer and Olave and Kamara. So if they're healthy, they didn't have Kamara the first 4 weeks, so they should improve. They're pretty good. Pretty good defense. Again, they just need a coach. Minnesota, no improvement. Even with J.J. McCarthy, wouldn't have done anything. Getting Darnold, really? I mean, he's second rate. He's not a starter. You got Jefferson, nobody to throw it to. They were better off with the guy last year who ripped the Lions for 400 yards. Maybe they still can get him. Weak running, weak defense. The Giants, they didn't improve. They got Daniel Jones. You could have had Bo Nix. You maybe could have had Penix. You got Daniel Jones. Do you realize he sucks? This is what I don't get. How do you not realize Daniel Jones sucks? At what point do you think what has he done? Oh, yeah, those Cowboy games when they lost 45-0 both times. Yeah, really impressive. So the Giants definitely didn't improve. Oakland definitely improved. They got Brock Bowers and they got Minshew. That'll be a much better team, Oakland. I think there's one of your better teams. Cincinnati gets Burrow, Oakland with Minshew and the best. Brock Bowers will win Rookie of the Year, hands down, by far, by a mile. San Diego, they didn't improve. They got Harbaugh. They'll be a good defensive team. They'll have no offense as he gave away his receivers for nothing. And we're going to run the ball. Yeah, running the ball. Okay, so what? Against Kansas City, you're going to get 3 points running the ball? Really stupid. Harbaugh doesn't know what he's doing. He's got Herbert, but if he's just going to hand the ball off, what's the big deal? Who's he going to throw it to? You could have had Brock Bowers. You didn't get him. You let Keenan Allen go. What the fuck do you got now? What a stupid move that is. So San Diego went down. Denver improved a lot. You got Bo Nix and you got Austin, the running back from Notre Dame. Sean Payton's in it another year. He'll get his defense going. He's got some good receivers. He got a lot of good free agents and not a lot of – well, you got the Bo Nix, Austin thing. I think Denver is definitely a playoff team. Seattle, they didn't improve. You lost Coach Pete. You let Coach Pete walk, and you think you can't improve. Geno Smith sucks. Okay, you got Metcalf and Lockett. Smith and Jebo was a wasted pick. You got some running backs with the Michigan State guy and Charbonnet. You didn't improve your defense, so Seattle's still a weak team. Dallas, they didn't improve. They still got Prescott. Big trouble there. So they'll be a good defensive team. That's all. Prescott, 15, 20 interceptions, whatever. Cleveland, I don't think they improved, but they're a very good team. I think they'll be a lot better with Thompson Robinson. Deshaun Watson shouldn't be playing. He's all done. Great defense. Myles Garrett, good coach. You've added a great defensive coach and Vrabel. So I think Cleveland improved. I think they're very good anyway. If Thompson Robinson can go all year, I think they'll be a very good team. I wouldn't bet against Cleveland too many times. Maybe against Cincinnati. If Cleveland's favorite, I'll take Cincy. Got to bet Joe Burrow as a dog. Washington, I think they improved a lot. Not only did they get Daniels, they got Hartman. So now they're all set at quarterback. You gave away your defense. You don't really have runnings and receivers. We'll see who they picked up. But a great draft with Daniels and Hartman. You don't even have to draft. That shows you how stupid the GMs are not to draft Hartman. Yeah, well, they drafted Spencer Rattler. That shows you how stupid New Orleans is. So I think Washington improved offensively. Maybe they're an over team now from being a Z team. Their defense sucks, but the Daniels should get you points. Tampa Bay, no help. They got to use Trask. They want to use Baker. Baker's Their defense is decent. Can they run the ball? I don't know who the running back is. Defensively, they're okay. Weak, very weak coach is the problem there. The Rams, I think, improved a lot. You got Stenson Benson now playing as backup. You got Stafford. He's a little hurt, but I'm sure he'll play the first game. You've got a lot of defensive help because Aaron Donald retired, but they drafted good defensively. And they got Puka and Cooper Kupp. So they're going to be dynamite a whole year with Puka and Stafford. Look for the Rams to fuck with the Niners for first place there. Detroit went down. They stayed with Goff. What can I say? Decent offense. They didn't add to their defense. Getting a cornerback from Alabama is not an asset. You kept the same defensive coordinator. They'll still give up 30 points a game. So Detroit's going to be the Dan Marino Miami Dolphins or Dan Fouts San Diego Chargers. Good offense, no defense. You don't win with no defense, and they didn't improve their defense. You got to get rid of the defensive coordinator to improve your defense. You should have got Spagnuolo, but you're not that smart. The JETSs improved because they got Rodgers. They got good running. They got all the Green Bay receivers, and they got a killer defense. Look for the Jets. If Rodgers can stay healthy, to be right there. They'll beat Buffalo. Miami's nothing. New England's nothing. So they should have their way in that division. And as long as Rodgers stays healthy, they'll be in the playoffs. The 49ers, did they get better? Well, they still have Purdy, McCaffrey, and Samuel, and I don't know if Ayuk's staying there. I don't like their first pick. The receiver from Florida was a terrible pick. Didn't understand that. All the receivers they could have had, and you get the guy from Florida? Wow, amazingly stupid. Because he wasn't any good. I didn't like have him going, oh, good. Look at Florida's receiver. Like I look at the other guys, right? Even App State or Tulane had much better receivers than this guy from Florida or Georgia, or I don't know. Anyway, so I don't think the Niners improved. They did switch defensive coordinators, so let's see how that helped them. So the best teams that improved, the Jets, because they got Rodgers. LA, because it'll be a full year of Puka and Cooper Kupp and Stafford and a much better defense. Washington, they got Daniels and Hartman. Should make them a more explosive team, but still no defense. Denver, absolutely, with Bo Nix and Esteen, the running back for Notre Dame, will be much better. And another year with Sean Payton's systems. Oakland with Minshew and Brock Bowers, the best player in the draft. All these teams. I love San Diego taking the offensive guard from Notre Dame instead of Brock Bowers. Oh, my God. I love that one. So San Diego actually went way down, but Oakland's much better. Cincinnati, they get Burrow. They'll be much better. They get him back. New England might not win a game. Their coach doesn't know what he's doing. They have no quarterback except for Zappi. No defense. Wasted their pick on Drake May. Yeah, they won't win a game for a couple of years. Chicago made a mistake with Caleb. They'll be better maybe defensively, but Caleb, you blitz him and he folds like a deck of cards, just like Tag and these other guys. Hurts, same old. Pittsburgh or Atlanta got better with Penix, and he'll throw to the receivers better. Cousins is a mistake. He's never done. He's choked everywhere he's been. I don't get what people like about him. Oh, was it the loss that Minnesota did to the Giants at home, to the mighty Giants? They couldn't beat with Cousins throwing picks. At what point do you see Cousins as good? I'm sorry, I don't see him. He wasn't good at Michigan State. I couldn't believe Washington drafted him, and I can't believe Minnesota signed him. And how did that go? How many playoff games did Minnesota win? Oh yeah, they didn't win any with him. Yeah, so don't tell me Cousins is good. Penix is very good. He's much better. Once Atlanta puts him out there, they'll be able to compete with New Orleans for the title. Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson got better, and they added some defense. Philadelphia, it's how good, how good are these new assistant coaches? Their head coach, I think, is terrible. Green Bay, I think, got really better last year. They will be a very strong team. And then KC, what can you say? They couldn't get much better. They did add a couple of receivers, but it's Mahomes and Kelsey and Pacheco and Spagnolia and this stud defense. And then Baltimore, they still got to live with Lamar. Good luck with that one, fellas. Yeah, let's look at Lamar in the playoffs. Oh, yeah, he doesn't win in the playoffs. Yep. So he runs good, but you need actually a quarterback who can throw like Mahomes. Would you rather have Mahomes and Burrows or Lamar and Hurts? I mean, it's not even close. You need a guy who can quarter. That's why he's the quarterback. He's got to throw the ball. Lamar couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 10 yards. So I don't care. He's a good runner. Fantastic. Make him a running back. He ain't a quarterback. So Baltimore's still going to be in trouble. They'll be a good team. They have a good defense. They have a lousy head coach. Harbaugh's proven that over and over again with his incredibly bad play calling. And then he chokes in the big games also. He did win one Super Bowl against Jim, who's a real airhead. Terrible special teams. So San Diego is going to be an under team. I mean, all their games will be like 10-7 because they have no offense, and then they have this good defense. And he wants to play Michigan football, but he ain't in the Big Ten. And you're not getting the schedule you got last year when you didn't play anybody until Washington and their running back was hurt. That's it. You didn't play anybody. And you played your little six-man defensive line where you blitzed every play because you don't have a good defense. So ain't going to work in the pros, Harbaugh. You fucked up with the Niners. You had a better team with the Niners, and you fucked that up. But you're not. The San Diego's nowhere as good as the Niners were. So that's it. Real D, I hope that answered your question. So we've got college starting next week. So let's just look at those two games. We've got Florida State, pretty much an under team. Georgia Tech was an over team last year. Florida State will have a great defense and a shitty offense unless they go to the five-star freshman. Oogle Boogle, we know, sucks. They had a 16 defense, so it'll be good. King, Georgia Tech, they were an over team last year. Scored a lot, gave up 30, and Kings is back. Kings is a good quarterback. They got a good head coach. Florida State's got a good head coach. I got Florida State 11.5 and 56.5. And it's dropping quickly. It was 13.5. It's 11.5. We'll talk more about that. Maybe tomorrow we'll go through the college lines and we'll talk the preseason, what happened today. A lot of football today, preseason. The other game next on the 24th, which is next Saturday, we got SMU against Nevada. SMU was an A team last year, 17 defense. Nevada sucked, 33 defense. Both quarterbacks are back. Preston Stone was very good for SMU. I think it was a freshman. SMU's went from 24 to 27 and over under a 56.5. So I think SMU scores early and scores often. So those are the two. We can talk the 29th, which is, no, that's already the next week. So that's your games next Saturday. Uh, probably want to, I probably want to post those soon. And then we're off to football world, which is so much better than the rest of life. Week one, we're in college. We're watching for new quarterbacks. We're watching. All of a sudden, there's a guy at Indiana, and he's got 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. There's our bets. That's who we're betting on. You're looking at scores. How's Alabama going to do with the new coach? I think they'll score a ton. I don't know what their defense will look like. All the Alabama defense left. They either got drafted or they switched teams. Georgia should be the best team, as always. Great defense. Quarterback's back. They just lost Brock Bowers, unfortunately. Utah will be a top 5 team. Ohio State and Oregon will be top 5 teams. Ohio State is on a mission. They lost to Michigan 3 years in a row, and it ain't going to be 4. They got Will Howard. They got Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator. They've got the defense. This year, it's you got 4 teams. You got Georgia, Ohio State, Utah is just as good as them, and Oregon. Oregon got Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma because Oklahoma's switching their offense. Problem with Oregon is their coach has his head up his ass with these 4th downs. Cost himself the playoff by going for it on 4th and 2 with a minute left against Washington in his own 50. Instead of punting the ball and winning the game, he goes for it, doesn't make it. 2 plays later, touchdown Washington by my man Penix, who for some reason people don't like. Fuck them. They don't know what they're talking about. And that's how Washington got in the playoffs instead of Oregon, although I think they both should have been in. So those are your top 4. Man, Utah is going to be really tough to beat. You got Cam Rising back and that defense. Look out. So it's almost as good as Georgia's defense. Ohio State has a very good defense, and Oregon a very good defense. So we've got that game of the year. Well, you got Georgia, Alabama, week 4, and we got Ohio State, Oregon, I think right around then also, week 5 or 6. Ohio State goes to Oregon. And Luke's brother is going to be selling those tickets for a pretty penny. So that's what you have. Luke's brother sells the tickets. He's one of these brokers who buys all the tickets and then sells them secondary. So you have so that'll be the game of the State at Oregon and Alabama. I don't know where the game's at. Alabama, Georgia. That'll be a big one. Look for Georgia to get revenge. That's all I can say on that one. Ohio State, Oregon's at Oregon. It's going to be tough. And that, so you've got these new conferences, the big 22 with Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. Hopefully UCLA will be okay. I think they'll be better than we think because they lost their coach and they lost their defensive coordinator. But they had some pretty good offensive players, and I don't like their quarterback. Garbers isn't really that good. We'll see, but they got good talent still, UCLA. So you just go around. What will Alabama do? What are these? What's like TCU could be decent. They got a good coach. Tennessee has an offensive coach, but doesn't bring the defense. Kentucky will be lousy. The ACC, Miami will be lousy. Florida State, they got to play the backup quarterback. It's as simple as that. They will not win with Uglia Buglia. Clemson is down. They got to play Georgia the first week. Yeah, good luck scoring in that one. So you've got ACC's terrible. Unfortunately, Florida State had it last year, and the quarterback got hurt. And it would have been really interesting. The playoff would have had Florida State and Washington. They were undefeated, and Georgia should never have been left out. And I don't know who was the fourth. Texas was in. I think Texas. No, they lost once to I think Kansas State or somebody. But yeah, you needed to tell you there's 4 teams and have a playoff is the biggest fucking joke. That's like saying, oh, there's no inflation. Inflation's down. So that's what you do. Week 1, we look at the box scores, we look at the stats. We know certain teams going. We know Georgia, Utah, Ohio. We know those. It's the Indianas who I think are going to get better. Purdue and Michigan State should get a lot better. So you got to see those developments, the new quarterbacks. That's what you're looking for week 1. Who's the stud who, he threw 10 touchdowns. So that's what we're looking at. You got a lot of different coordinators you got to be careful with. I don't think Notre Dame will be very good this year. I think Riley Leonard, really, you couldn't win with Hartman, and now you're gonna got Riley Leonard, who threw 3 touchdowns and 3 picks last year. Really, and you didn't do anything with Hartman. You had Hartman and Escanine. You had the worst offensive coordinator in the world, and he's moved on to Troy, so Troy can suck. But Notre Dame, I don't like their coach. Not very good. He reminds me of that Stanford coach when Hall left. All of a sudden, I didn't like him. And then slowly Stanford went down when all the recruits that Harbaugh did, graduated. He couldn't replace them. And Shaw, I think, was his name. And that's what Notre Dame, they're going to be in trouble. We're not going to be betting them too much. Penn State, they got the Kansas offensive coordinator. Look out for them. Great offensive coordinator. Look for Kansas. We got to see the replacement. Hopefully they've been very good because they have a very good coach and they have a very good offense. I mean, Indy's best quarterback is Bean right now. You think it's Richardson because I don't know why, because he's athletic and he ran a lot at Florida. This is not a quarterback. These are running backs. Jalen Hurts, Lamar, what the fuck are you doing? These are not good quarterbacks. Why people think they are? Why do you think Caleb's going to be a good one? What did he do? Please explain it to me. They won, 4 games last year. Anytime he played good teams, Arizona, Notre Dame, UCLA, and Utah, he didn't show up. He doesn't play well against good defenses. But let's ignore that because why? Why are we ignoring that? Just amazing. Anyway, I don't know. He's running this offense that's always quarterback friendly, that the quarterbacks never do anything in the pros. So he's running that offense, and he still couldn't score a lot. So I don't know. It was probably the lowest production by the quarterback at the Lincoln Riley School of Fast Break Offense, which is purely a system. And he throws, he only had 24 touchdowns or 28 touchdowns. When everybody else, Jalen Hurts threw for 40-some touchdowns. Anyway, that's how you get ready. The pros, first 2 weeks are extremely tough to bet. You got to stick with Kansas City, Cincinnati, the Jets, the good quarterbacks you've got to stick with because these players are not in shape to play. Not only do they only play 3 preseason, of which they don't play, but then there's a bye before, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So none of the players are ready. And then week 1 comes, okay, guys, go 60 minutes. Half the defensive guys get hurt. They get pulled calves and pulled hamstrings, all the cornerbacks. And then the offensive linemen get hurt. They're not used to contact. The defensive guys get hurt because they haven't tackled because they might get hurt. Well, guess what? In the real games, they're all getting hurt because that's the nature of fucking football. So the quicker the coaches can realize it, the better they are. So I don't know. I just, when Mahomes plays, I mean, that's enough said right there. He plays, he doesn't get hurt. Kelsey didn't get hurt. What the fuck? What do you, go coach women's tennis if you're worried about the injuries. I really don't get it. Oh, I heard Andy Scheckman use one of my lines yesterday on Mark McGuire's show. He he says something. He says, "I'll sell you oceanfront property," and then he changed it to Minnesota. I always say, if you believe that, I'll sell you oceanfront property in Detroit. So he's stealing my lines, but he won't. He doesn't want to give any credit to me. I'll sell you oceanfront property in Minnesota. Good one, Andy. I'm going to torment you. Fucking idiot. Anyway, anything else? We've covered a little economics. Gold 2508 on its way up. Don't sell it now. This is the sale. This is the buy of the century. Silver will really zoom as gold keeps getting more expensive and people start realizing because the dollar's going out. Then they'll jump on silver because they know they need to get out of the dollar and it'll get them more money. It'll be too expensive, so silver's still cheap. So if you get a chance, buy some more silver. It will make its move. It's obviously fixed. But I was watching some idiot. He goes about price fixing. He says, well, everything's price fixed. No, everything's not. Most of it's free market. It's just government gets its hands in it. But, most of the money, is it priced? Well, the money is not. Well, the FX rate's a joke, but we all know it's a Ponzi scheme. We all know it's Madoff. So it's not a surprise money's Madoff. But you win by getting into gold and silver. That's how you survive. Or the Rolexes and the battle cards and the Brady cards. Anyway, I am fasting. I started yesterday. I don't know what time I stopped eating. I went to Chinese buffet, which is one of the reasons it was terrible. I got General Chow and I don't know what it was. It was like it was just breading. It really wasn't. There wasn't like a lot of chicken in it. Then I had some fruit there and stuff like that. So anyway, that was 2:00 Thursday. So I really didn't have dinner because I said, well, I had the buffet. So I just nibbled on a little bit when I got home. I don't know when I started. Let's say 6:00, 7:00. And again, it was very little. So I didn't eat yesterday's 24 hours. We'll go 24 to 7. Today, I don't think I'm going to eat. Will give me 48 to 7. I just feel heavy. And I just don't like it. And I'm eating, I'm losing control. I'm eating like an ice cream. I'm getting hungry and I don't have anything to eat. So I've been eating like popcorn, which is okay, but I don't have anything to eat. I mean, my pita bread, which shouldn't eat too much of that, and my omelets, but they don't fill me up. So I've been eating the veggies, but I've been going off course. I've been eating out a little too much and eating these little ice cream, the little cones, the Sunday cones at the gas station. I've been eating too many of those. A little bit of pop once in a while, which I know to stay away from, but I'm like bored. So I'm eating something. Then not getting the job isn't helping. Waiting on the trust isn't helping. Waiting on Daria isn't helping. So I had a nice conversation with Daria. I think we understand each other. She says, don't you want to, I said, I'll fly to Russia. And she says, well, don't you, I want to meet you in the middle ground, like in Serbia. And Serbia is a very good place to go to. And it's a very good place maybe to live. I got to see it. But I says, yeah, but since we need somebody to watch your daughter so we can meet, I'm saying I'll just fly to Russia. And then we don't need, then at least we can meet. And she's like, well, she thinks it's dangerous because of the war. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'd be coming in. I think U.S. people can go to Russia. You'll get my passport. Are they going to throw me in jail because I'm American? I hope not. And maybe that's what she's worried about. So she's like, well, just wait for this madness to end. So I'm like, okay. So hopefully in a few months, I'm now hoping, I don't know when, hopefully it's when the mother can watch, we'll meet in Serbia. And that's it. And we'll see. So at least we kind of got, we cleared the air a little bit because I'm getting very frustrated waiting to meet her. And then she keeps coming up with, I think it's the the way she says something, because it's a Russian slang, and says, "Oh, well, it's my mom's life. She'll watch the daughter when she can." And I'm like, "Well, fuck that. Tell her we want to meet. Get the mom here already." Hey, Paul. When are down to get a silver coin? That's what I do. Well, especially women with different cultures. She's very kind of like, she had to go to the dentist. She said, "I'm scared to go to the dentist." Like that's the type of girl I am. And we haven't met. We've seen each other online, but we haven't met. So that's part of it. Well, that's what I did. I bought 5 ounces of silver and my tenth of an ounce gold when I was a little depressed. But then I tend to eat like chocolate ice cream, and I haven't been buying my chocolate 90s, because my 90 chocolate bars, because I'm finding they're giving me a sweet tooth. But hell, I'm getting the sweet tooth anyway, so I'd be better off eating the dark chocolate 90 than eating these ice creams. So I think I still have that in my system. But yeah, when the stress happens, I tend to get a pop or an ice cream, or I got a little thing of Chips Ahoy the other day. So I'm like so mad at myself, because I know better. The sugar is going to kill me. So that's what I'm trying to stay away from. And so that's why I do these fasts, to kind of reset. And that's what I'm doing. And just like to, I don't try to lose weight when I'm fasting, but I lose weight because I'm not eating. I had a tea this morning and a couple of butters. Now I'm going to go swim, and I think I'll get Chinese, but I will eat it tomorrow. So the plan is 24 hours was yesterday. 48 hours will be, let's say, 7 o'clock tonight. And if I eat about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow, will be a nice 24 to 72, about 68, 69 hours. That should reset me. I should lose some weight. But this is always this is actually the first day is the hard day. This day is usually a lot easier, because you haven't introduced food, and in a day and a half now I can go swim, and I won't think of food, and then we'll watch some football or whatever. So that's kind of how I don't think of it. But that will be, a lot of water and a lot of tea today, because you can have that, but you are a little bit hungry. So I just ate some dark chocolate today. What degree? 80, over 80? I always get the 85 or 90. I was curious to get the 100. That's more for baking, but I try not to go over 90. But I go to Walmart. It's got the cheapest, and it's Swiss chocolate, but it's like Sam's Club versus the others. But the others got expensive. Talk about the inflation there. It went from like 270 to like 370. I'm thinking dark chocolate's getting inflated. Yeah, try to eat over 80. 90 if you can, or 85 is the best. And that's why I don't want to eat out too much. Who knows what they're making? You don't want to have margarine, and you don't want to have regular salt. You want to have sea salt. And I found this new lady, and she says cayenne pepper like cures cancer. I got to read it. I got to watch it again, and I'll give you notes. But she's saying lemon's very good to make you feel better, and cayenne pepper. So I bought a little cayenne pepper jar. Maybe I'll put it in my omelets or something, although it'll probably make it really hot. But I have to try them. But yeah, they're extremely healthy. Anyways, so baseball, we'll go through our picks. The Yankees, the 2 units, Cubbies 2 units, the Mets over 8.5, 2 units, Arizona 2 units. We have time. Philadelphia 2 units, KC under 9.5, 3, Baltimore over 9.5, 5, Oakland over 7.5, 3, Houston 2 units, the Dodgers over 9, 3, San Diego with 5, and Atlanta with Chris Sale on the mound is now a 5 unit against California. So that's baseball. Football we talked about. I'll give you the free pick. New Orleans +7, the Rams +8.5, a free teaser today. I am not betting it. I don't bet preseason, but I do like Stenson Benson, and then I do like New Orleans with Hayner and Rattler over San Diego. That should be a joke. And then New Orleans plays. I can't remember who they play. It doesn't matter. Nobody good. Atlanta watch for Penix. New Orleans watch for Knicks. Drake May sucked yesterday. McCartney, he sucked anyway. He was injured at Michigan the first 2 years. I never did understand why he got drafted. I watched Michigan football. I didn't see anything from him. The Ohio State game, he got lucky on that call, was an interception that he threw a bad pass. That was an interception. They called it a touchdown. That's all I remember. Against Georgia, he really sucked against Georgia. So I don't know what they see in Caleb, to tell you the truth. Oh, he played on the high fast break Lincoln Riley offense. So therefore, but the rest of the quarterbacks sucked from that offense. They were just fast, like Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts, and Baker Mayfield didn't really run it. Rattler couldn't handle it because he wasn't fast. And Caleb did what? They won 4 or 5 games last. They're like 5-8. What's so exciting about that quarterback? Couldn't win in a tough Pac-10. What's he going to do here? All righty. Well, I'm going to go swim. I'm hungry, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll be on about 11 o'clock tomorrow. We'll go through baseball. We'll go through college football and football. Little economics we can go through. Oh, one last thing. So you see Kamala Harris commercials, and she's giving away everything. I'm going to give, all this to the seniors. Everybody will get health care, and everybody will get this, and we'll cap this, and we'll cap that. It's all socialist. None of it's free market. If she's going to cap insulin, or she's going to guarantee everybody can buy a house, how are you going to fucking guarantee everybody can buy a house, and it'll be a nice house and people can retire? Oh, you're going to fix the dollar? You're going to go on the gold back currency because that's all you got. And so I don't really know what the fuck she's talking about, but it's all socialist. It's I'm going to run and I will give you all this stuff. So vote for me. I'm going to give you this Mahomes card if you vote for me. Everybody, you get this Mahomes card for voting for me. Oh, I'll vote for Kamala because I want the card. Yeah, the rest of it is just communism. So, you got to be crazy to vote for them or vote for her. But that's what politics is. It's spending a lot of money doing commercials to say, I'm going to give everybody $1 million if you vote for me. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. What I hate is these YouTube commercials are now like 50 seconds long, where you got to listen to these idiots. I just mute them. You got to listen to these political ones, and then so you're in a movie or you're watching something, and the key point, and they go to this 50-second commercial. So I mute it, and then when it comes back on, I rewind it 5 or 10 seconds to get to the point of what they're talking about. Really irritating. 50-second commercials on you. What are they, out of their fucking minds? So it's getting hard to watch YouTube. So a lot of the stuff I'm not. But I got to watch the gold, Mark McGuire and stuff like that. Except for yesterday, he was terrible. Andy Scheckman doesn't have Oceans in Minnesota, man. Keep stealing my lines, guys. The Titanic and that one, good. Can't you come up with original lines? Fucking losers. All right, I am out of here, off to swim. Have a nice day, everybody. Enjoy the football again. Take New Orleans in 7 and the Rams in 8.5 with Stenson Benson. Your free teaser, but I am not betting it, so please do not bet a lot on preseason football. All right, have a good day. Take care, everybody. Oh, it's www. Let me see. www.teaserking.com. You get my email. I would probably say I'll probably post the football probably by Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I'll post next week's games and probably the week after for college. Pro, I'll wait till probably the week before, till like Labor Day weekend. I'll probably post the pro picks. So I want to make sure the injuries and everything. That's where it makes it, that's where it makes a difference. Getting Burrow back and Rodgers back. In college, you just want to also be careful of the injuries. All right. www.teaserking.com. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.